Hi everyone, you're listening to the Bridgeway podcast. The purpose of these podcasts is to give us the opportunity to share information and thoughts with you and to inspire all of you who work at Bridgeway. As ever, we'd love to hear from you, so if you've got any feedback, please get in touch.
Hello, welcome to the Bridgeway podcast. My name is Ryan Kirk. I work in the recruitment and HR team here at Bridgeway. Here with me today is Paul. As an Armed Forces signatory and holder of the Gold Employer Recognition Scheme, we are proud to be celebrating Armed Forces and Reserves this week. We have many ex-military personnel working at Bridgeway, and today I'm catching up with Paul Hudson from our site investigations team to talk about his experiences and the transition from military to Bridgeway consulting. Paul, thank you for joining me today.
Nice to be here and be talking to everybody in the internet land.
Absolutely. So just tell me a bit about yourself.
So I joined the army in 2007. I joined the Royal Engineers as a communicator, so I was basically a radio operative within the Royal Engineers. I spent 10 years of it in Germany in a place called Paderborn as within Armoured Engineer Squadron. I spent 10 years there in 7-7 Armoured Engineer Squadron and 3-7 Armoured Engineer Squadron within 3-5 Engineer Regiment. And then I moved over to Chilwell for my last 2 years, which was within 4-3 Headquarters and Support Squadron. And I just spent my last 2 years there settling. During my just shy of 13 years, I completed 2 tours of Afghanistan. I had multiple exercises in Canada, around Europe, and Jordan and Oman, so I've been to a few places, and then now I've come to Bridgeway.
When did you join Bridgeway?
So I joined Bridgeway the end of 2019.
Okay, so just pre-pandemic, yeah.
Literally pre-pandemic. My first year here was literally within the first pandemic.
Yeah, and how did you find out about Bridgeway? What was it that sort of, got the name to you?
So I never thought about railway whatsoever before I joined Bridgeway. I didn't even think of it as a job. I was going to go health and safety like most military people do. And one of my friends convinced me to go to Military's Good for Rail fair in Derby. And that's where I was walking around and I met Mark Lindahl, who's my director now. And he hates me saying this, but he basically sold me the dream of coming to Bridgeway. And it's been great working here ever since, working as part of the SI team, site investigations team. I'm a team leader, get to go out on the rotary rigs, window sample rigs, do all sort of ground investigations and site investigations, and I can't complain, still loving it.
So in terms of the work that you do, could you just sort of explain a bit again about, just maybe more in sort of detail about your day-to-day job at the moment, what it is exactly that you're getting up to in site investigation? So
basically, we work within a lot of the railway environment, but we work in any environment. We do a lot of safety critical qualifications, so we'll do our control of site safety, engineer and supervisor later down the line, and loads of other various qualifications for railway. But my main job is currently as a team leader for the site investigation side of things. So we do things from structural coring, digging trial holes. We've got small drilling rigs that we window sample with to gain samples out of the ground at certain depths, and we've also got rotary drilling, which I've started getting into, and that's the deeper holes that we go into. But we do a lot of anything with site investigation and ground investigation, especially hard access. So that's one thing we really specialise in at Bridgeway, is hard access sort of investigations.
Perfect. Just on the fact, I know you mentioned about obviously your military experience and things. I've actually read a few books recently myself from ex-military guys. Ben Williams, The Commando Mindset, and Gareth Timmins as well, Becoming the 0.1%. Don't know whether you've heard of those books yourself or.
I've heard of them, but never really read
no.
them.
Well, what came across me when I read them is that the guys was the resilience that they had. And the team ethos and living by values is quite a big thing as well. Is that something that you relate to? What did you learn that's helped you in your current role in regards to sort of the ethos and things?
Well, I think one of the things with the military is you get force-fed the values and standards of the military, and it sort of gets bred into you. So it gets hammered into you, and you start just living by it. It starts becoming one of those things you just do naturally a lot of the time. And that's why a lot of ex-military are really good out in the civil world, because they do stay by the standards, and they do work off of the military ethoses that they've lived by for so many years.
I think just generally, because obviously, I mean, I work in the recruitment team, as I say, and I think just, not just here, but generally with some of the CVs that I'll see from people, and if I see that they've got ex-military, I think I automatically myself, as most people would, realise that that person's got something that not a lot of people do have, is that, like you say, they're always on time, they're very sort of driven, they do have that sort of ethos and that respect for a lot of people. They don't tend to let people down as well. So yeah, absolutely. How did you find the transition from the military to working for Bridgeway?
So it was easy because I moved into Bridgeway straight away. I had no leave. It was a hard 2 years. I'm not going to lie. It was a great 2 years. My first 2 years was great. I loved every minute of it, but it was that period where I left the army, so the October, December sort of period where I always was thinking, is this the right job for me? Am I doing the right thing? It's that whole thing of, did you do the right thing after leaving a career for so long? A career where you are pretty much babied, and the military does look after you really well. They'll just provide you everything. So it's hard to be stood on your own 2 feet, thinking, especially in such an arduous job, am I doing the right thing? But I've gone through it a couple more years down the line and I still love it, so I can't complain.
Yeah, because it's been, 4 years now, hasn't it? Since, and do you sort of see yourself being with Bridgeway for a long time? Do you sort of see yourself progressing with us still? Is there sort of more things that you want to sort of do and see with us, or?
Well, yeah, I hope I'm here until I'm pensionable, but it all comes down to Bridgeway to see if I'm good enough to stay here until I'm pensionable.
Sure. And did you think that it was helpful to work with others that are ex-military as well? It actually sort of partnering with people with similar sort of backgrounds to yourself. Do you think that helped with the transition itself as well, or?
Yeah, I think it massively helped to be in an environment where a lot of people understood what you were going through. Helped a lot, especially when it comes to that camaraderie, knowing the military banter sort of thing. In our team as well, we're pretty off our heads. We're a bit of a weird team. We do a lot of mad stuff, but everybody understands it, and I think that's what creates the bond that we have within our team. Such a tight-knit team. Yeah. Definitely a lot of ex-military being within the team helped me settle in pretty easy.
How big is the team?
Not too sure right now.
Just be curious to know sort of the percentage that obviously are ex-military within the team.
So I think we've got about 8 ex-military people within the team now.
Okay.
A lot of them are from Royal Engineers, and we've got 3 ex-Royal Mercians who are within the team as well.
And do you know how they came to Bridgeway? Did they sort of follow the same suit? Did they attend a careers fair like yourself, or was it? Do you know if it was different, or?
No. So one of the Mercians, I think he just found Bridgeway somehow, and then he got offered a job by Mark whilst he was still in the army.
Okay.
And he left and came straight to Bridgeway. Then the other Mercian is his best friend. So he told him about the job and he came across that way.
So that leads me on to my next question really, Paul, in regards to anyone that might be listening to this that's currently in the military or looking to leave. What advice would you give them?
So the thing with leaving the military is it's going to be difficult. No matter what stage in your career you were in the military at the very beginning, within 4 years, or if you've been down the line 22, 36 years, it's always going to be difficult leaving the military. You're in an institute that has looked after you, fed you, housed you, and babied you through your whole career, and just looked after you, told you what you're doing. And coming into the civil world where you're having to do everything by yourself, it is extremely hard, especially mentally. One thing I could say is before you leave your military, use your resettlement period and actually think about what job you want to do before you leave. Have that in mind and then get the qualifications for that job. And don't be scared to put yourself out there. I've got a friend right now who's currently doing that exact thing. He's found what career path he wants to go to and he's putting himself out there. It's the best thing to do because that's the only way you're going to get the career you want to do. And don't be scared of finding a career that you might have never heard of. I didn't even know about land drilling. I didn't really know anything about railway. And it's the best career I've ever been in and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So putting yourself out there and finding a job that you might fancy, even if it's a low paying job at the start, you've got to start somewhere. Just think about where you're going to start, but always look at the progression. Where could you end up? If you could see yourself being somewhere high up in the future, or you could see yourself being anywhere where your desired career, you'd be able to forge a path and get there. It's just you forging that path and getting there, having that mentality to being so progressive to get there.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Paul, for your time today and interviewing with me. Obviously, for anyone that's listening to this that is ex-military or not ex-military, but if you're looking for a career, for something sort of future with lots of really good career progression and a brilliant company to work for with a real sort of family ethos, then definitely have a look at our website, Bridgeway Consulting. We've got a careers page as well, and obviously follow us on LinkedIn as well. We post a lot on updates on sort of careers fairs that we've got coming up and things like that. So definitely something to keep an eye on, and obviously be sure to send requests to anyone sort of that works for the business that might sort of be able to steer you in the right direction as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Paul. Have you got anything else that you wanted to sort of say in regards to Armed Forces Week or any sort of advice or anything?
No, just don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and like you said, approach Bridgeway for any careers information about the company. Even approach myself on LinkedIn or even Mark Lindahl on LinkedIn, and we'll always be there to help anyone out.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.